guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mandisa Shozi. Of course, if it's your first time stopping by, please do not leave without subscribing. And for all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back and for your continued support. So as promised, today's video is going to be a story time. As you might have already seen by the title of this video, I am going to be telling you guys basically about my career choices, what I studied in university, how I ended up studying that, and basically what happened, right? So in high school, I wanted to study science. I wanted to do science because I wanted to study clinical technology when I'm in varsity. As I did state in my Get to Know Me tag video, I actually wanted to be in the health science field. I wanted to do health sciences. So basically, you know, like Masusugo grade 9 and you're going to grade 10, you're bound to choose like subjects that you're gonna do, which will basically determine what you'll be doing in your future, you know, what you'll be doing in varsity. So when I was in high school, grade 10, I chose physical science. So I did physical science, maths, pure maths, I did life sciences, and I did business studies, and they added tourism as like the 8th subject, so I did tourism as well. Basically tourism I in science, but at school they added it as for all science students that were in grade 10 with me. For all science students we had tourism, right? I don't know, I think as a backup subject, I don't know. I wasn't like really sure on which subjects I wanted to do, but I obviously talked to my mom about it, and she basically told me to do science because, you know, I was a smart child, you know, and everybody believed in me. She believed that I could, you know, do science and excel because I was just a smart child. I've always been smart, and if ngimi selangempela and I, you know, I just really studied, I could get good grades. So she believed Uti I should do science and that, you know, I can make it. Of which I also never doubted myself. She said I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time it was such a big deal to not know what you want to do. I was only in grade 9, guys. I was only going to grade 10. I was still a child, you know. I was just a teenager. How am I supposed to know what I want? How am I supposed to have everything figured out, you know? And our parents make it such a big deal that they end up choosing what they want us to do. My mom is not that kind of parent, but she really influenced my decision in studying science, of which I don't regret. I don't regret anything that I did. Any of the subjects that I did, I enjoyed it, even though most of the time it was very difficult. While I was still in high school, my mom took me to some practice that is based in Pantown next to Crompton Hospital. They basically specialize in dialysis, so I wanted to become a dialysis technician because my mom took me to a practice and she showed me around, she showed me how they work, what is it that they do. And for me ngabona ukuthi okay, labantu laba basebenza kakhulu, and it's just connecting umshini to the patient, and there's just blood transfusions that goes on, but it's not really a big deal, you know, like I can handle this. So I was interested from the get-go. I was interested in doing clinical technology because I wanted to become a dialysis technician, right? Because clinical technology is very broad. That's what I told myself I was going to study metric. So when I was applying, I remember I applied for clinical technology was my first choice. I applied for nursing. I applied for dental technology. I applied for, was it radiography? I think I applied for radiography as well. I had 6 choices. What else did I apply for? Dental technology. I don't really remember what else I applied for, but I remember that clinical technology was like my first choice because that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I thought I was going to do very educating. And then Mrs. Figure the following year, I passed my matric. Okay, I was happy about that. Fine. Mrs. The following year, I'm still waiting to be accepted. I remember radiography was rejected. For in nursing, I applied in Howard College. I even went there and they told me, Uti, like, I was rejected. Yeah, it was just most of my choices were rejected and some of them were just pending, there wasn't any response. The following year, after I finished my matric, I ended up not studying because I couldn't, they didn't accept me in any of the things that I applied for. And I was going to be that was like the most difficult year of my life because I wasn't working, I wasn't studying, and I wanted to study so bad, and in such a way that even if it was anything, I was just gonna take it because I just wanted to do something with my life. I didn't want to be at home, right? I was forced to take a gap year, right? Because I didn't want to get a job. I didn't even bother looking for employment. I just wanted to study. So I was at home. It was just the most difficult year of my life, just I don't want to go through that again. Just being at home and not doing anything and just feeling like you're stuck, right? You just feel like you're stuck because you're not doing anything. So the following year, I told myself that the following year I was going to study no matter what. I am never ever taking a gap year again. I'm not going to be at home again. So I applied again and I applied for the same things. And you know what was the most painful thing? The most painful thing was all the things that I applied for, I qualified for, but I was rejected. I know that they obviously select abantu abaphase kahle ongazophasa kanganani, and then they start selecting from there, and then kanjalo njalo. But like it hurt so much because I was like, why? Fine. So the following year, I applied again, and I was hoping that this time around things were gonna work out. But I got rejected again, and I still applied for clinical technology as my first choice, right? And I was rejected again, and I was just so devastated because I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why. Up until to a point where I started to do walk-ins in universities. I went to MUT, I went to Howard College, I went to UKZN PMB. I've been there. I went to University of Zululand in Bangeni. I went to so many universities. I went to DUT, and it just didn't happen. I did late applications. I did everything I could, and it was just not working out. And it wasn't even a matter of ngiphase kambi or anything like that. Ngangiphase kahle, and I qualified for what I wanted. I qualified for what I wanted to study, but I was just getting so many no's. God just kept saying no. I knocked on so many doors, and God kept saying no. And I really thought I wanted to do health sciences, because that's what I aspired. I wanted to be a dialysis technician. That's what I aspired to be. That's what I told myself I'm going to be, or that's what I wanted to study when in Gipumi High School, but it just didn't happen. God kept saying no. And I didn't understand at the time why things were happening the way they were happening. I really didn't understand. It was so difficult for me to understand because back then I was still young. I'm still young, but I was younger. I was fresh from high school. I didn't have a lot of experience. I didn't know what was happening. I just wanted to study because everyone is going to varsity and everyone is going to study and everyone is getting a degree, a diploma. And that's just how we are taught when we grow up. We are taught to go to school. We are taught that success lies in education. Like education is the key, all those things. And obviously for me, not being able to go to varsity and getting all the rejections left me devastated, and I felt so powerless, and it was so difficult because I thought, oh my goodness, if Bengang accepts it, then what am I going to do with my life? Because this is the only thing that I have to do in order to be successful, in order to be considered as someone that has made it. I will have to go to school and study. So this one day, I remember it was a Friday, and I was talking to an ex-classmate of mine, sasifunda nayo grade 12, Lindo igama lakhe. I don't know if she still remembers or if she's gonna watch this. So ngangikhuluma noLindo, and we were talking so why it's a scholar, right? And she told me we're gonna go to DT because they're doing walk-ins, da 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 da. So we met up in town and we went to DT. So yo kwagcwele guys ngalalang, like kwagcwele sports center. They were doing like they were taking walk-ins depending on like your qualifications and what you wanted to do. Yeah, but bethi sima walk-ins and kwagcwele nje, everyone is busy yatatazela. So I remember we went to the faculty of management science, specifically public relations. When we got there were a lot of people that were obviously looking for spaces, and we were basically waiting there. And Ngiyakhumbula Sisonzo was like, no, hambani ikalaziko, there are no spaces, so like you guys should try somewhere else. You know how people are. I think by Sbaning. And then we left Emil Sultan and we went to Steve Biko. And then Ulindo told me Guti she was going somewhere else. I don't really remember if there was an emergency at home that she needed to attend to, or she went to Howard College. I don't remember, but she had to go. So I was left alone. Something told me Guti Pindela lapha department of public relations. And ngajika guys, lapindela mengifika lapha, they were like, I didn't even speak, I just ngavula isikapa ngangena. And then this lady wasemzakhona, I'm not going to specify like who she is, or I don't want to really describe her for many reasons. So mengifika, she was like, I just opened the door and I greeted her. I didn't say anything else. She just said, can I see your results? And I'm like, okay. I gave her my matric certificate, like a copy of my matric certificate. She didn't say anything to me. She's like, oh, okay. And she took a pen and a paper, and she wrote down she wrote down someone's name, and she gave it to me. And she's like, you're gonna go to a sports center. They're currently doing registrations. Go to this person. You're just gonna tell them that I sent you here. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to sports center. There was a long line outside, and I didn't even stand on the line. I just went past ngangena, and my secretary ngenisa. Guys, I can't even explain how this happened. Like, when God really wants something to happen, okay, fine, ngangena and ngalusisike. She took my details down, and she was like, okay, also accept a film offer. I went to accept my film offer. By the time I accepted my offer, it was very late, so I couldn't really register because there were a lot of people who were doing registrations. So they told me to come back on Monday. So I told my mom, oh, so and I'm going to study this and this and that. I did apply for NSFAS, but I didn't know if I was accepted or not. And I really thought I was rejected because there was no communication. Like, usually when you apply for NSFAS, they send you a SMS to confirm that you're going to be funded, right? I didn't receive that, so I assumed I didn't qualify, or they just rejected me. So fine, I come back on Monday, and I remember I had email registration. My mom had given me, I think it was 2.4. She gave me like 2,400 rands for registration. because we were not sure ukuthi kuzowenzakalani. Went to the cashiers to pay, and the guy was like, no, you shouldn't like pay, just go and check first if you have NSFAS, if you were approved for NSFAS. I'm like, I don't think I was approved because I didn't get any confirmations. Like, just check. So I went to check, and they were like, just go and register because you have NSFAS. And I'm like, what? What? Remember, guys, if you've ever received NSFAS before, you need like a reference number. They send you a reference number and all of those things, and you have to have like a profile. Guys, I remember creating those things, but I never got my reference number because I thought I wasn't like bank rejected. Fine. So I went to register. So now I'm like, okay, let's look at NSFAS. Do you see God? Okay, fine. I was accepted for NSFAS. I was able to register. After I was done with my registration, ngahamba ngayo housing. So I went to housing because I wanted to apply for res. So now I can go ahead and apply for res because NSFAS. So at the time when I got there were a lot of issues with like amaresi. Some people were appointed to rooms that already had people. There was just a lot of confusion with amaresi as a duty. So they told me to apply for a PA, which was private accommodation. And at first I was like, what is that? Because I've never heard of it, right? This is my first time in varsity, so I've never heard of it. This guy that was helping us out with the applications, he told us you're gonna get like food allowance, and you're also gonna get like allowance for a rent. I was like excited because you're basically getting an allowance for a rent, and it's directly deposited into your account. So you're the one that pays your landlord. So no matter how much you are going to pay at your private accommodation, whichever amount of rent you're going to pay, it's totally up to you. The rest is yours. Make it make sense. Like, isn't that God? God came through for me again. He came through for me again. Because mina, personally, and ires is all what I knew. But you're getting a private accommodation, So I was actually getting more money. I was paying my rent on my own. I could live anywhere I want. If I wanted to live at home, I could live at home, but that was very inconvenient, so I didn't live at home. There are no restrictions. And again, I'm saying this, if God wants something to happen, and nobody can stop it. I applied for a private accommodation. I found accommodation, and everything was sorted out. Everything was just so smooth. My registration was so smooth. Like the following week after I got the firm offer, everything was just so smooth, guys. I didn't encounter any difficulties. I had friends that supported me. At some points when I was looking for accommodation, everything was just so smooth. And for me, as much as I wanted to study clinical tech and I thought that is what I wanted, I feel like that's not what I was supposed to study. Like, it was never meant to be, because I tried so much. I tried to apply, I tried everything, but it just didn't work out. I qualified for it, but it just didn't work out because it was simply not mine. And signaling into public relations, so I ended up studying public relations and communication. And yeah, at first I didn't understand like what it is. I didn't even understand why I'm doing this, but right now I really understand why things turned out the way they did. Because if you think about the things that I like, and you think about the course that I studied, they go hand in hand. Content creation, zonke lezi zinto lezo, being out there talking to people, just being in front of the camera. And you think about public relations, it actually goes hand in hand. And I didn't know that, because when I was still in varsity, I just wanted to study something that was going to pay. I just wanted to study health science because I thought that was what was best for me at the time. I thought that this is it, this is what I want. But turns out God had other plans. I truly, truly believe that this is what I was meant to do because of how things turned out. If you pay attention to all the things that I said, um, firstly, starting off with ngisa-applyela clinical technology, how things didn't work out, how I tried so hard. I even took a gap year just because I didn't want to study anything else but a clinical tech. The following year, I was still rejected. I tried so hard. I tried when the work-ins. I tried so many things. At some point I even opted for dental technology. I remember I wrote a test because I just wanted to be in health field. Even when I was doing my first and second year, I tried to change my course and it didn't work out. And I truly, truly believe that it was just God kept saying no. And sometimes God says no to things that we want, not because he doesn't love us, not because he, he's just saying no on purpose, because maybe I wouldn't have liked it. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it is. It's filled with there's so much success there. It's beautiful and I was going to have a beautiful future. But maybe it's something that I wouldn't have liked it. It's just not me. And I just want to say to young people who are still in high school and you are struggling to actually find what you like, it's okay. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to not know what you want. It's okay to take time to yourself and just learn what you like, figure out the things that you like, and just take time to yourself. Don't rush into studying something that you don't like. I was fortunate enough to be rejected, and God directed me in the direction that I was supposed to go. I was so lucky that happened to me. And so many people don't understand till this day why um, I ended up studying the course that I did. I just wanted to say I also didn't understand, but it was just God's plan, you know. And to everybody who's watching this, I wish you all the best, and I hope that someday you find something that really, really is dear to your heart. And I hope that you follow your dreams and you pursue your dreams. You are not scared to just go for it. So yeah, that is my story. That is how I ended up studying public relations, and I am so happy. I'm not ashamed. At first I was ashamed because a lot of people would say, how wenza cause bheda kanjena into elula kanjena, like I used to be ashamed, but manje I am not ashamed. I graduated. I am a qualified public relations practitioner. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of how far I've come. It's very important that whenever you are choosing your career, you are wise about it and you are choosing something that you really want, and you actually know what you're getting yourself into. It's very important before you even study something to actually maybe visit that. If, for example, you want to become a nurse, try to visit a hospital, like see how they work, what they do on a daily basis, because that is going to be your life. That is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. I hope that you try to practice activities that actually help you to get to know yourself, help you to get to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like. And there are so many courses that you can take online. You can search, do your research, take tests if you have to, take personal tests where you able that will help you define what you like, what are your dislikes, what don't you like. It's very, very important that you choose a career that is very dear to you, something that you really enjoy doing. I just want to say thank you so much for watching up until this far, I love you guys so much. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye.